It's been an interesting run for Helldivers too. I was gonna stream it yesterday. I knew that there was supposed to be a big patch coming out, so I pushed it a day. And here we are. So what I thought we could do is that we could go through the patch notes first, kind of talk about what kind of implications it could have on the game, and then just play some. So that is what we'll do right now. It's a building purpose, and then an increase in the level cap. Uh, Gameplay, Planetary Hazard Edition. So it looks like they've added blizzards and sandstorms. I like the planetary stuff. I think that it's fun. I think that it sort of breaks up some of the repetition of it a little bit. It's easy to find planets that you don't want to go to now. I think Hellmire was the last one, and it was fire tornadoes. And on another planet, they were like nothing. It was just like, oh, whatever. They're out there in the background. They look cool. But on Hellmire, they were like tearing through the mission areas. It just changed the whole dynamic. It was really cool. So I hope that blizzards and sandstorms at least add. I mean, the game's already terrible with visibility, anyways. So I don't see it really like changing that anymore. Increase level cap from 50 to 150. So most people who play the game are 50 by now. 150 seems like a lot. I could see a race to 100, but an extra 100 levels in the level cap that. See, because the thing is that levels 1 to 50 had markers in them, you couldn't unlock this until level 10, you couldn't unlock this until level 12. So it felt like you were moving up. But then after level, I think 20 was the last unlock at the beginning. I have no idea if they've changed the unlocks at all. But like, let's say from 30 to 50, it was just pure, we're grinding it. You've got to go get experience, you want to go out, you want to shoot some stuff. Oh, look, you got some experience, it goes towards 50. So to do that all the way up to 150, I don't see it working out in their favor. But maybe they're setting up for like a longer unlock track, which would be amazing. They take some of the stuff, space it out a little bit, maybe 1 to 50, and you get your exosuit at 50. And then there's like even more cool stuff that comes after that. We will see. But that seems like a lot. Balancing. Retrieve essential personnel. Move the spawn points further away to give players a fair chance, and there are fewer civilians required. On higher difficulty levels. So that's pretty nice. To be honest with you, the way that you do those missions, you just hit the button, you send 3 guys out, they distract the bad guys, you shoot the bad guys, and hope that the guys get through. I mean, like, that's all it is. You just grind through maybe 30 or 35 survivors until you get the 18 or 21 or whatever number it would be into the ship. And that's it. And then you go home. It was really never like a fail state situation. You just had to stay there for long enough. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure that we'll run into a couple of those. Destroy command bunkers now has more objective locations. The mission was too easy compared to other missions. It can now appear in operations from difficulty 5. Okay. Fine. Great. I like more things to do. Have the negative effect of operation modifiers that increase stratagem cooldowns or call-in times. This is fantastic because 100% extra delay in call-in time or a 50% extra cooldown, I would just not go. I would just do something else. It was not even trying it. So we'll see if it goes down to 50 and 25. See what that feels like. But it'll be better. It'll be work. So there's one in here. This one here. Primary, secondary, and support weapons. The arc thrower got a big change. Fixed charging inconsistencies will always take 1 second to charge a shot. I don't know how I feel about that, mainly because once you got that first initial shot off, you could chain them together really quick, probably faster than 1 second. We'll test that and we'll see if that's still a thing. But if they change it to just 1 second a shot, I don't know. That might actually lower the overall damage throughput on the weapon. Reduce distance from 50 meters to 35. This was a mistake. It is the long range version of the ARC shotgun, whatever the thing is called. It needs to be long distance in order to be useful. Rifles and guns and shotguns are going to reach 100 meters, 200 meters. You can bring down a spore tree with your shotgun from 400 yards out, as long as you can see it. That's just how bullets work in this game. So to drop it from 50 to 35, that doesn't seem like the best idea. I'd like to see him double it. I'd like to see him go from 50 meters to 100 meters. Increased dagger force. This is symptomatic of something that I really hope that they address, is that not only do your guns not do a lot of damage, they also don't really do anything. There's no feedback in the guns. This is particularly noticeable with pouncers, hunters. Pouncers are fine. Hunters, stalkers, to a large extent. You expect a charger not to give a shit about you shooting at it until you hit it with a rocket or, something like that. I can fill a stalker full of holes, a whole clip, and it doesn't slow down, it doesn't back off, it doesn't stagger, it doesn't trip. It will triple shot me, it will lash its tongue out at me, and then it'll fly away. There is just no feedback on it. Same thing with hunters. They'll still hit you, they'll fly right up next to you, and you can pop them with a handgun, pop them with a shotgun, and unless you kill them, they're not going to react to it. And that needs to be more of a thing. There has to be interplay between what you're doing and what the bugs are doing. Guard dog now restores full ammo from supply boxes. This is nothing. Nobody cares about this. Anti-material rifle. Damage increased by 30%. I am a huge advocate for the anti-personnel for the anti-material rifle. I love it. I go into bot missions with it. You're one or two shotting bots if you're shooting them in the skulls or you're shooting them in the weak points. I don't know that it's as effective on bugs just because the single shots tend not to do anything. But the extra 30% damage, that's incredible. Good on them for this. Breaker Incendiary damage per bullet increased 15 to 20. Yeah. Fire damage tick increased by 50% from all sources. Yeah. Fire was already kind of a pain in the ass, so I don't know what they thought that they were getting done here. I mean, if it works, it's great. I want that flamethrower to be just spitting straight napalm. Hang on a second. We're gonna sip on a little yerba mate while we work through this here. I want fire damage to do a lot. I also don't want it to do a lot to players, because you would have to assume that if they have armor on, there's probably some sort of fire retardant material on it, so on and so forth. It just doesn't seem like it's very fun. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. The Liberator Penetrator having a full auto mode, could take it or leave it. If you're not shooting a weapon burst anyways, then you're wasting bullets. And when it comes down to it, the only thing that I'm going to hold the trigger down on is the machine gun, not the new one. The new one sucks, and the turret emplacement. That's it. Dominator increased to 300. Increased stagger. That's fine. We'll see it. We'll check it out. The counter sniper increased armor pen from light to medium. This is in the same arena as the anti-material rifle. I wouldn't take the counter sniper to the bug missions because there's just too many. There's too many little guys. But having more armor pen is fantastic. You might get a shot through the striders and all that stuff. Sluggers. The endgame gun. Reduce stagger, sure. Reduce damage. I mean, I guess. Reduce demolition force. Fixed armor penetration tag in menu. This means that it wasn't supposed to be armor penetrating and they mistagged it. Saga Liberator because fixed incorrect armor penetration tags in the menu. Do you know what's lame about this? And don't get me wrong, I love the game. I I think that they just put it out like not with systems not in place. The armor doesn't work. You're getting 2-shot, 3-shot in heavy armor, getting hit for just as much when you're in scout armor. Oh, you know what? Glad you guys caught that. We fixed it. The exosuits blow themselves up. Oh, glad you guys caught that. We'll fix it. This isn't anybody trying to like glitch the game. This is turning and shooting. There's another one down here too that we'll come back to that. But we all knew that armor penetration wasn't working as it was supposed to. If there's no armor pen, kills bugs. If there's light armor pen, it kills what? Warriors maybe? The shrimps, whatever those ones are, the guardians. Medium, you're getting into like your spitters and your brood commanders, and then something like heavy would be like, you know, bile titans, chargers, all that kind of cool stuff. But it just wasn't. It wasn't working. Just bouncing right off. Recoilless rifle, increase rockets you restore from supply boxes. Spear, increase the number you restore from supply boxes. These are fine. Doesn't mean anything. Heavy machine gun, the highest fire rate mode, reduced from 1200 to 950. This will have the secondary effect of not having as much recoil. As much. So you can maybe try it. The gun still sucks. I'm just not going to play with it. It does not hold a candle to the original machine gun they gave us, which is good for everything all the time. Patriot exosuit. Rockets will now penetrate armor only on a direct hit. Does that mean that the Patriots rockets will only penetrate armor, or that rockets hitting the Patriot exosuit? One is good, one is awful. Because there's an explosive factor to it. Anyways, balancing adjustments have been made too. Charger's normal melee does less damage against exosuits. It should be in general. I get that they're heavy, but their attack should be more of like a knockdown. Doing like raw damage and one-hitting anybody that gets too close to them is stupid. Bile Spewer and Nursing Spewer do less damage with their puke. This is huge. I hope they do 80% less damage, because they also debuff you, slow you, mess up your screen, prevent you from healing. I hope they do 5% of their original damage. Bile Titan can no longer be stunned. Yeah, that was a fun little time we had. Just hanging out, throwing stun grenades at Bile Titans. Oh, rest in peace. We knew it wouldn't last, boys. Shriekers no longer create bug breaches. That seems like it should have always been that way, because they're not on the ground. Shriekers hitting you while they are dead now does significantly less damage. I assume that they mean you shoot them out of the sky and they are falling towards the earth and hit you. In which case, yeah, they should do, you know, maybe a little bit of damage, but I don't think they just mean the ones laying on the ground. Balancing adjustments. Heavy and medium armor protects better, and you now take about 10% less damage than before while wearing heavy, 5% less than wearing medium armor. This isn't enough. Just straight up, this is not enough. Either you're going to wear medium armor because it's got the most set bonuses. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. I will give you a follow back. Boom. Thank you very much. Either you're wearing medium armor because it has the most options in terms of modifiers, or you're wearing heavy armor because it looks cool and you spent war bonds on it, or you're wearing light armor because you're smart and you like to run. Heavy armor is still going to get 4-shot, 3-shot. Just doesn't work. Fortified Commando and light armor is unchanged. Yeah, see, it's not. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing with armor. They don't know what they're doing with armor pen. Don't know what they're doing with stagger. And then some smaller stuff here. Let me see. PS5. We have a PC because we are grown-ups. Enemies now properly target exosuits. I disagree with this, but I don't really care. I mean, they wouldn't see the exosuit as a threat. I guess they do attack sentries and turrets, though, so that's fine. Fixed exosuits being able to fire their weapons while opening the mini-map. This is what we are coming back around to. This is just... This should have never even gone out. Why did those... Why? Why would they have multi-functionality? They knew that people were in the habit of checking their minimap. They're trying. They're trying their best. On average, next to without a bug to make them sometimes take explosion damage multiple times, making things like automaton rockets be too deadly. This is now fixed. This might revitalize the game. Honestly, truly. I have a couple friends that will not play against bugs. Or against bots, against automatons. And they saw that, and they are willing to try again, so we'll see. Automaton enemy constellations that prefer to spawn with certain devastator types did not work. This means that sometimes when playing against the automatons, you will face more devastators instead of other enemy types. So for the casual automaton enjoyer, that's a nightmare because they are really aggressive, heavily armored. But for the anti-material rifle chads, that's nothing. 2 shots, 1 shot. You can put as many on the floor as you like. They're easy to hit, they're slow. I'm fine with that. Improve the system that prevents hellpods steering close to larger important objects. Yes. So without going into all the bases, without all the points in that, they put this thing into place where there's invisible walls or there's direction control, driving control. If you're close to like a POI or a really tall mountain or a hole in the map, and I super get it. I think that they're doing the right thing by reducing it as much as humanly possible, since such a big part of the game is punching your pod, like, you know, through a Bile Titan or through a tank. This is going in the right direction. They just have to tighten that up a little bit. Ballistic shield changes are interesting because it's almost really cool and it's worthless. They also mentioned that they didn't see if it's in the known issues still. Tutorial, whatever, just have fun with it. Throwing back game might crash when throwing back a grenade. That's an issue. Cross-platform, can unfriend, can unblock. These are all the same. Explosive weapon stats include only direct hit damage but not explosive damage. Interesting. Explosions don't break your limbs except for when you fly into a rock. Okay. Planet Liberation reaches the 100% at the end of every defend mission, drowning in deep water. Helldiver in a broken state. Challenge beam might attach itself to an enemy, but it will deploy to its original location. Yeah, I mean, that looks good. I'm really excited for the big ones. So I guess we'll just, like, hop into it. See what's going on.